Los Angeles, California, January 15th, 1947. The city is waking up. The morning air is cold and clean. The sun is out. It is a Wednesday, a perfectly ordinary Wednesday. A woman named Betty Bersinger is walking through a quiet neighborhood called Leimert Park. She has her 3-year-old daughter with her. They are taking a morning walk. It is 10:37 in the morning. Then she sees something. Lying in a vacant lot on the corner of South Norton Avenue, just off the sidewalk, half hidden in the frost-covered weeds, is what appears to be a department store mannequin, pale, perfectly still, split in two. Betty Bersinger stops walking. She looks again. It is not a mannequin. The body of a young woman lay in the dirt, completely naked, posed with disturbing precision, arms raised above her head, legs perfectly straight, spread exactly 12 inches apart. Her face had been slashed from the corners of her mouth toward her ears, carved into a permanent grotesque smile. She had been completely drained of blood. She had been bisected at the waist, cut cleanly in two, and then placed in the lot as if she had been arranged, displayed. Like an exhibit in a gallery no one asked to see. There was not a single drop of blood at the scene. She had been killed somewhere else, cleaned, and then brought here before dawn. The killer wanted her to be found. Betty Bersinger ran to the nearest house and called the police. Within the hour, Leimert Park was flooded with squad cars, investigators, reporters, a crowd that kept growing. By that evening, the story was on every front page in the country. By the following morning, she had a name, not her real name, a name the newspapers gave her. They called her the Black Dahlia. The name came from a 1946 film noir playing in Los Angeles at the time, The Blue Dahlia. Some said Elizabeth's friends had nicknamed her that themselves because of her habit of wearing black and her striking looks. Others say it was entirely a newspaper invention. Either way, it worked. The name took hold immediately. And Elizabeth Short, who had lived largely unknown, became in death one of the most famous women in America. But before the name, before the headlines, before the mythology that has grown around this case for over 75 years, there was a crime scene, and the crime scene told investigators something that none of them would ever forget. Whoever did this was not acting in a moment of rage. There was no chaos here, no blood, no struggle, no evidence that anything violent had ever happened in this lot. Everything had been done elsewhere. Everything had been cleaned. The body had been washed before it was placed. Her hair had been combed. She had been posed with a precision that suggested practice or obsession or both. Forensic investigators determined she had been dead for approximately 10 hours before being placed in the lot. She had been bisected at the third lumbar vertebra. The cut was clean, surgically clean. Whoever did this had knowledge of anatomy, the kind of knowledge you acquire through medical training or through something darker. There were rope marks on her wrists and ankles. She had been tied for an extended period before death. There was evidence of prolonged suffering. The lacerations on her face, the carved smile, had been made while she was still alive. Elizabeth Short had been held somewhere, tortured over a period of time, and then killed, and then cleaned carefully, and then carried to a vacant lot in Leimert Park and laid out in the frost like something placed on a stage. No one has ever been charged with her murder. This is part 1 of 4. We know what was done to her. In part 2, we find out who she was and how a girl from Massachusetts ended up in a lot in Los Angeles with the whole world suddenly knowing her name. Subscribe so you don't miss it. And if this case already has you, leave a comment below. You are not alone in that.